Hello and welcome back. Now, we have our relationship discussion starting now. Aremo Olalekan Oluwatobi is a certified relationship and marriage coach. He's also a mentor and passionate about God, love, relationships, marriage, and life transformation. He's dedicated time to coaching and mentoring many on the matters of love, relationships, and marriage. He's joining us to talk about love and communication this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so love and communication. Yeah. I think the key word for some might be love, and the key word for others might be communication. Yeah. So maybe we should break them apart and focus on what communication truly is in relationships.
All right, so communication happens when, in the simplest form, is when both parties get what they are both trying to say. Okay. Okay, it's different from you hear someone, but you're not getting the essence of what they're saying. Okay, so communication actually happens when both people hear themselves, listen to each other, and actually get the essence of what they're trying to communicate with each other. Okay. Okay. And then even though this is one of the most talked about things in relationship, we find out that there are still many people with communication breakdown. Okay. Okay, you find out that, at times you find some couples, maybe a breakup is happening or a divorce about to happen. And one party is saying what? And one party is saying the reason is because we don't communicate. Yeah. And one party is like, but we talk. How do you mean we don't communicate? That's because either you've been speaking so much and this other person has not been allowed to speak, or you're not even speaking in the way they understand at all. So it's important that people understand how they communicate as it is. And then, okay, so we can break communication styles into four. I broke it down into four. Okay. So first, there's what I call the hot. Hot? Yes. Now, these are people that they are very in your face when they are communicating. Okay. They don't keep their thoughts to themselves. They let you know it, whether it comes out right or not. They don't want to say their own and move away. Now, these people can be aggressive at times. They can be demanding. Some can be manipulative. Okay. But their goal is to get out what they are saying. Their goal is not for you to listen, and they're usually very poor listeners. Okay, we call them the hot. Okay. There are some we can call the still waters. Okay. Now these ones, they have a lot to say, but they don't say it.
So they just stay
quiet.
Calm. Okay.
So you think they are easygoing, you think they are cool with the situation, but there's a lot they want to say, but they will never say it because they want to maintain in front of I'm a peaceable person. Okay, so they just also absorb the pain.
Or they want to avoid confrontation, maybe.
Yes, yes. But usually it's more because of the facade they want to put up. And so they can absorb the pain, they can get abused and not see anything. They will make excuse for this other person, just so that there's no confrontation, like you said, and then they're there. Then there's the yin-yang. Okay. Now, these ones are two shades. These ones, they don't say so much too. Not because they don't want to say, but because they are frustrated in that you can't understand how they are saying it. So at times they talk, it comes out wrong. At times they talk, it doesn't come out the way they want to say it. So usually they just snort plenty anger internally. There are people that you find giving silent treatments. They are angry, they are irritated, but they can't say it because they feel you will not get them. Okay. So they're just not seeing the anger there. And then the final one, I call the fresh waters. This is the perfect kind of communication as it is. Okay. Okay. They are good listeners. Okay. They are very good at conversation. And then they balance I and you. Okay. Okay, when they're having conversations. Okay, so it's not just, they're not pushy. They listen to the other person. Okay, so when you look at this spectrum of communication styles, you find out that one partner is one and the other is another, usually.
Usually they're different.
Usually they're different.
Okay.
Usually. So both partners, first, the person must first know, what am I? Am I the yin-yang person? I have so much anger inside, but I'm not communicating it because I don't think he will hear me. Okay. Or am I the still waters guy? I'm just sitting, I'm just there, just absorbing everything. Holding everything in. Yeah. Or am I the hot? I'm just saying everything and not getting feedback. Okay. The moment I know who I am, who is my partner?
And who's the best partner for me?
In fact,
I guess?
yes, of course, that's for people that are yet in a relationship. Or those that are married or already in a relationship, you want to know who is your partner, okay? Then you want to know if your partner is not fresh air. Two of you want to now discuss how do we move towards fresh air.
Okay.
Because the elements that make good communication is active listening. And active listening means that you're also getting the emotion that the person is communicating. Active listening doesn't mean the person is right in itself. The person might be assuming a lot of things, yeah? But you are listening to the emotion that the person is using to communicate that, and so that's active listening. Then there's no defending. You're not defending yourself, you're explaining. Because there's a difference between when you're defending yourself and you're trying to explain the situation and all that. So communication is actually very simple if you would be patient with the other partner.
So I'm thinking about the first one you mentioned. You said hot.
Yeah.
Right? So what if you have a couple that are both hot? You know, it doesn't sound like a very good recipe there.
No.
You've probably worked with couples like that before. What sort of things did you give them to do, or advice did you give them to help them, you know, simmer down? Okay.
So usually you want to tell both of them to be interested in listening to the other person.
Okay.
I think listening is always the issue for hot, because at that point, both parties want to talk. And then you find out that because both are talking at the same time, they begin to raise their voice. And because hot can be aggressive, both are aggressive, and then it can escalate. So you want both parties to be calm, listen. Then, if it's a physical meeting, you want to ask one of them to give the other. Who would you want to speak first?
So I watched somewhere where there was this particular couple where they were both hot, and they decided to try flipping a coin to see who would ask or speak first, you know, whenever they were having any kind of argument or the other. So they both understood that. But one issue they had was that they always felt like the other, as you said, from the yin-yang side, didn't understand or wasn't going to get what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
So I guess this is like a different combination for, you know, from what I've looked out for. But then how do you begin that journey from being completely quiet and mellow and still waters to now actually being able to handle someone who is hot?
Yeah. So let's now go to our love conversation.
All right.
Because love is the foundation of the relationship that you both have. Most times, one of the things we do is we have people remember, why did you choose this person? There will be something positive out of it. Okay. Now, because it's a mindset, like you said, I don't think he will hear me. I don't think she would get me. It's a mindset. So no matter how she says it, because of that mindset, you don't think she's getting you at all. So you want them to first deal with that mind block of, for now, don't have any mind block. Just be open. She's going to speak. She may not get you. That's the truth. But be patient enough to listen to her. He may not get you, but be patient enough to listen to him. So when they're able to first go back to whatever it is that brought them together, the positives, it levels the playing ground, the play field, and then we can now build on mutual respect for both. Okay, you are both here because you want it to work. Yeah, so somebody has to speak first. Okay. So when one person narrates what is going on, you know, aggressively and all that, rather than ask the other person to defend it, the other person is just sharing their own perspective. Usually it's a perspective thing. So the person's perspective, then we'll now find the middle zone in the perspective. But then both must still learn to move towards fresh air.
So before we wrap up, what advice would you give, you know, couples that are just about to get married? What would you advise they ask each other?
Okay. Usually people, you know, we spend a huge part of our life paying for every other thing in our lives, and we barely do for marriage, as it is. So usually, one of the things I usually advise people is talk to people, either older couples or a marriage coach or somebody, and then for each other, understand your communication styles, understand how you work.
I have to say a big thank you to you for coming to talk to us today. Love and communication. Have you got your communication style down yet? If you haven't, maybe you want to look into that. Just hit us up on social media at TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Ask your questions, and let's see if we can get them answered.